Hello, and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm your host, Adam Riancho. Today is Wednesday, August 5th, 8 p.m. Pacific, and we have a very special guest tonight. Please welcome to the show, Rob from the Professional Fanatics. How you doing, bro?
What's up, dude? Such a professional intro. You should have the Professional Fanatics name. Like, that's so nice. It just rings off the tongue. Awesome, man. So glad to be on with you. Like I was telling you off camera, we barely get to watch each other's show because we always are in the same time slot. So seen like 30 minutes of your show, honestly, because we're always on. But I know you love the Chargers, and I want to talk to you about a Marion Hampton.
Hell yeah, man. We'll have a lot of points of discussion today, so I appreciate you joining me. And if anyone doesn't know, I will then be joining Rob on his channel immediately after this. We're going to have a dual collab this evening. So the link, I believe I can just drop it right now. And this will be to that specific live stream. I'll drop it again in the chat later when we are about to go there. So y'all can head over and join us. But if you haven't done so, hit the description down below. You'll see the link to Rob's channel and subscribe over there. And don't miss out on this video, but also our collab as well. Before we get going, I'm just going to bring in the chat real quick. We had a bunch of people early. Appreciate y'all. We got our boy Keith, the big shooter, Fimpst tonight. How we doing? The Iron Throne, Ruben. I had a feeling he would like this one, and that's technically who brought us together. We're going to be competing against each other in the Iron Throne League this season. I'm really excited for that YouTube channel and that league. 14-person league with a bunch of other content creators.
It's gonna be tough, man.
You ready for that?
Like, dude, Joe Pizza P is in this league. Like, that is a titan of the industry and a guy that's been playing fantasy as long as we've been alive. And like, that's gonna be awesome. Sucks he left Fantasy Pros, but he's got a new channel now. I don't know the name, but also want to shout out Keith, because Keith is actually the one that turned me onto your show.
Oh, really?
And if you're wondering, Keith, the big shooter, his name is that. He doesn't have a firearm, so you can just put two and two together there. But yeah, he told me he's like I watch Blunt, and I watch you, and he's like, you gotta check this dude out. And thank you, Keith. You're the man.
Yeah, Keith's been a member of the channel for quite some time. Love Keith, drafts with us a lot. Super Beast, appreciate that, Super Beast. Thank you very much, Keith. But we got Hetzer with some eyeball emojis. He's excited. We got K-Space, very hyped. Thanks for popping in this evening. We got Dakota Miller. Not sure if is a new member. If one of
my guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for joining us, Dakota. And Scott's in here. Let's go. Quincy's in here. Blunt about to pop on screen and immediately be weed mogging. That's, I mentioned this to you right before we went live. I might be disappointing some folks that expect the weed. I'm actually on a tolerance break. I have no idea how long it's going to last, but I do this maybe like 2-3 times a year, and now is just the time. So no weed tonight, at least on my end. But
I'll chug some beers. Cool.
Sure. I mean, I'm also not really a drinker, but I might be boring tonight. But if you want to do anything, be my guest. There's no judgment at all.
Heroin.
I mean, I might have to.
I last 5 minutes on Nice and Blunt. I'm already passed out in the corner. Did not work out well.
We might have to put you on mute while you're actually injecting it. But
right.
If you can draft on heroin, that's impressive. But
that would be impressive.
I wouldn't recommend. What's up, A-Rod? Appreciate you for the blunt emojis. At least it's only 1 day in, Ham. Only 1 day so far, so not too bad. What up, gentlemen? Our link to your live stream right there. And Jason saying, I watch these guys every night. Appreciate you for joining us. And on the phone the other night, on the TV, we got Quincy. Rob has net of being painting on his wall. I was looking at your wall before you popped in. I love the Kramer. You got Gaethje.
Yeah, this is the Chris Farley Van. It's a custom Van Down by the River.
Oh, hell yeah.
A lot of random shit. Just a lot of stuff that I had from my previous setup at my buddy's house. And, I'm still trying to fine tune it, but I don't like it look too professional, right? Like, we want it to look a little bit, have that home feel, right? Of just like a basement.
Well, I will say I was surprised and impressed by the Haskins Jr. RIP, but is that the
signed, man? You can't get those anymore. It's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, no, that's a
little low, but
that's like a Van Gogh painting.
100%, dude.
But we got Anthony in here, Quincy in here, we got Montano in here. What's up? What's up, brother? We got Keith again, and Goofy. Yo, shout out Goofy, good friend of the channel. If you haven't checked out Goofy Chicken Fantasy, subscribe over there, and maybe I might reach out to Goofy next week. I might want to do a collab with Goofy before the season kicks off. I'll check your messages soon. But what's up, Anthony? Not time for rip this evening. I'm already disappointing folks, but all right. I caught up.
Banner up, dude. Put a banner up or something because you're probably gonna get that like 10 times.
You know, it is what it is. But if they were watching yesterday, they're not gonna be surprised. But all right, before we get going, you are a Chicago Bear fan,
correct?
Did you grow up a Chicago Bear fan, or?
Yeah, I've been a Bears fan forever. I want to just put this out there though. My allegiance is to gambling and fantasy football.
Okay,
that is it. Like I want the Bears to win, right? I love the Bears, but as I've gotten older, like I play 40 redrafts, bro. Like my football year is my bets, my fantasy team, and then the Bears. Like I do want the Bears to win, but if it comes down to me winning a $500 bet or the Bears winning, I want both to happen. But let's take the money and then we'll go for next year.
Well, as a Charger fan, fantasy football scratches that itch of when you know your team isn't going to win at all. You got something else to root for. But
and we've been terrible forever. I mean, now it's nice. Now we're looking great. Like Ben Johnson, this is a new age, and I'm not going to get ahead of my skis like a lot of Bears fans. It's progress, like beyond progress, right? We've never had a 4,000-yard passer, like ever. Right. Imagine that.
It's got to be the wind, right?
It's not the Windy City. It's not the Windy City because of wind. It's because of politics. It's pretty windy here, but it's windier other places. No, it's the quarterbacks. It's Kyle Orton. It's Rex Grossman. It's those guys. Jay Cutler was pretty good. That was our best quarterback ever.
Didn't hit it, but yeah. The identity of defense since that '80s Super Bowl was it 85? I don't want to
85.
Yeah. I feel like that just has led to the identity of the team up until Ben Johnson for like such a long time. And maybe that's also to blame. But before we see just how biased of a Bears fan you are, I got to get your opinion on Luther Burden, one of the more polarizing players.
Yeah.
Put him on the thumbnail. You mentioned a running joke on your channel, but should we be drafting Luther Burden in the 4th, or what's your take on it?
In best ball, take your shots because this is a potential league winner. I mean, the writing's on the wall, but in redraft, man, when Rome Odunze goes a round and a half or 2 rounds later, I believe Rome Odunze is the one. And if you don't believe that, then Colson Loveland's probably the one. Or there is no one. You know, it's not going to be Luther Burden. He's not that archetype of player. You throw around the St. Brown comparisons, like, dude, St. Brown is now that's an almost Antonio Brown reference, right? He could be an Antonio Brown level route runner with what we've seen. But Luther Burden he's got great hips, man. He gets open, but he is still a raw talent. And, you know, as everyone references the yards per route run, which is awesome, but it was 60 targets ish. And he also had his longest touchdown was on a trick play, a flea flicker. So right. I'm not taking that away from him, but he didn't do anything on that play. It's like Travion Henderson's long touchdowns. Did he earn those 3 long touchdowns? It was literally just run fast. No one touches you. So the limited sample and then the flea flicker, like just take the flea flicker away and you're not talking about the Puka Nacua yards per route run. And I'm not going to get ahead of my skis on a small target share. That's all it was. We'll see. I don't know. What do you think his target upside is this year? I want to ask you that. Like most, like 120.
That seems a little high. I would assume it goes over 100, but I feel like 110 is probably more of the ceiling. I think it's just like the nature of the plays are so explosive, and just like for best ball purposes, you know, you want some all or nothing bets. But I don't want to like lean on this too much, but it does make me laugh when I think about it. I kind of dismiss the beginning of the season for a lot of rookies. You know, they're getting their feet under them. They got competition ahead. Like, you know, give them some grace. You can kind of excuse it. But in that first month of the season, first like 6 games, he had 3 negative yard games. Like exactly, that's what's so hilarious. Like that is just completely written off as like, oh, that never happened. You're like, I literally had more yards in that game than Luther Burden. But you know, the week 17 is all that matters apparently.
The entire Bears thing, we were talking about this in the show last night, is we're dismissing not just Luther Burden, we're dismissing the first 8 weeks of the season, which was rough. And Caleb bailed us out, you know, with a lot of hero ball. It wasn't even Ben Johnson's calls. It was him essentially pulling like a Michael Vick, running around the pocket and throwing a 60-yard bomb or, you know, those kind of things. And I'm not saying this year is going to be closer to the first 8 weeks than what we saw the last 8 weeks in the playoffs, but it's probably a middle ground, or I think their upside is what we saw at the end of the year. Like people are expecting them to take this leap and like continue this leap. This is not the way it always works. Like CJ Stroud was amazing as a rookie. And what have we seen from CJ Stroud since then? It's not been good. I know it's not a great comparison because O-line kind of broke down there, but our O-line isn't foolproof right now. Like, there's just a lot of moving parts. I love the direction. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed Bears fans and then fantasy drafters who are drafting Loveland in the 4th, drafting Bird in the 4th. I think Rome Odunze is the pick because he's the cheapest of the bunch. And when we have these obscure situations, technically going the cheapest guy is the best way. And if you look at what Vegas has, it opened up at all three of them at $7.99. They were all at 800 yards over under, which is telling, right? And at that point, give me the cheapest guy. And out of Bird and Odunze, who would you say has more touchdown upside?
Rome.
Yeah, because Rome had like 5 touchdowns in 7 games last year when he was healthy. So, and he just he's the archetype of player, right? He's a big body X receiver that Caleb does trust. So if we're looking at less touchdown upside and less snaps potentially, and he's 2 rounds earlier, it just doesn't, it's the shiny new toy thing. That's what this is with Luther Burden.
I'm kind of on the stance where like Rome should probably be going earlier in the 5th, and then Burden should probably go right next to him. But I am kind of on the side of like, I just want Colston Loveland probably the most. At least with the bar being so much lower at tight end, I feel like that extra positional value is the main way I want to play it. We're going to pick the Bears schedule just to see how biased or reasonable you actually are. But one quick question Quincy needs to know: has Rob done DMT?
My brother has. I have not, but I got some intimate knowledge of it. So I don't know if you want to ask me the questions, but again, no, I have not. Salvia, okay. Yes, not DMT.
Okay. That's just wild. I've done synthetic DMT once. It was interesting, but we got a super chat from Connor Neely. Appreciate you, bro. If you haven't checked out Pro Fanatics, drop a like as well on this video. 2 goats, 1 stream. It'll be 2 goats, 2 streams. We got a second stream after this as well on Rob's channel. So thank you very much, Connor. Appreciate that. And now, without further ado, time for win-loss picks. I probably need to make a drop for this, but oh right, I almost wanted to start with the Eagles just to piss you off, but no, we'll stick with the Bears. Actually, let me adjust this real quick. And
I did tell you the Eagles are my least. It's not my least favorite team. It's just their fans, right? And that's not all. I've met some great Eagles fans, but 90% of them are kind of obnoxious. Sorry if you're an Eagles fan out there.
I wanted to stir the pot, so I asked you which team you hate the most. So maybe at the end we'll play a little game. But all right, let's get it in here. Okay, let me get rid of my name as well. Make it as small as possible. There we go. All right, it's all set. We had one guest on the channel a couple weeks ago pick the Bears. I'll tell you what his prediction was at the end, but just heading right in, we got Sunday, the home opener, revisiting that DJ Moore trade. Bryce Young versus the team that passed at the Panthers, week 1. Who you got?
First off, we bent them over in that trade. I'm taking the Bears. I love the Panthers over 6.5 this year. It's crazy it's that low. Give me the Bears.
All right. I actually am pretty low on the Panthers, but to each their own.
Well, the win total is so low, though. You know what I mean? I know they only won 8 games last year. Their defense is better. Schedule's really tough, though.
Their schedule is the first place schedule for the Panthers is gross. Coming off that 4th place, I got some concerns, but 6.5 is achievable. Week 2, though, divisional matchup, really good defense. Kyler coming into town. Home opener, though, versus the Vikings.
We're going dub here as well. Give me a win. I am a little higher on the Vikings this year. I think the Bears start off strong, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Well, week 3 versus your rival, your contentious Eagles game. Monday Night Football primetime. Who you got?
Big L on this one. Big L.
Okay.
Man. Yeah.
I did not expect that.
No, I mean, I'm also not picking with my heart here. I'm picking with my head. And again, my Eagles thing is not about the Eagles themselves. It's just, I mentioned it. So L here, dude, the defense, Barkley, I still don't trust the Bears defense. So this is a game where we get exposed.
All right. Well, are you getting exposed by the Jets in week 4?
I want to say L here. Honestly, I think the Jets are going to surprise some people, but no, this is a W.
Don't make me question bringing you on this fast, man. No, there's no way they lose to the Jets. Week 5, though, at the Packers.
Another L. This is probably the return of Micah Parsons, if I were to guess, around this range. Give them a shot in the arm. They have a lot of revenge, too. Like the Bears, those wins we squeaked out were unreal last year. And Not the highest in the Packers this year. I think their defense is taking a step back. I'm pretty high on their offense, though, and Jordan Love and Matthew Golden is, I think he's terrible. I think he's great in best ball, though, but L.
All right. So 3-2 entering week 5 on the road at the Falcons. Who you got?
I'm going to go L here.
Wow.
I'm going to go L. Yeah, dude, the Falcons have a lot of talent. This is either going to be, Tua keeping the job here, or this might be the first game of Penix, which could always be a little scary. I think this is about the range where they would go to Penix. And Falcons are really tough at home. You saw them that game against the Rams last year at the end of the year. They have talent. I know Pierce isn't. We don't even know if Pierce is playing that whole situation. But yeah, give me an L here. Sorry, Bears.
Okay, I'm a bit surprised by that one. Not gonna lie, but 500 record, very reasonable take so far. We do have a little super chat from Avi saying Pats versus Bears Thursday Night Football going to be epic. His prediction is Pats 31-27. Who you got?
I'm taking the Bears in this one.
Okay.
Yep, give me the Bears. I know on paper the Patriots are improved, but Drake May real life regression for sure coming, even with AJ Brown. And I don't know, man. AJ Brown, we'll see if he's on his best behavior. He's losing it, and he'll be fine the first couple of weeks. This is the time of year where maybe he has a 4-target game, week 5, week 6, and Drake May starts forcing the ball to him. Bears win this one.
Jalen Johnson, very tough matchup. Hopefully he's healthy this year. But all right, we got 2 more games before the bye. We'll have to take a little breather. But first are at the Seahawks with a little extra time to prep. Monday Night Football with the mini bye. How you feeling on this one?
This is definitely an L. At Seahawks. Okay. For many reasons, I believe the Seahawks are going to start pretty slow this year. I mean, they're still a really good team, but the Seahawks will be a second half team. This is the start of their emergence, and possibly Charbonnet back here. Give me an L here.
All right. Well, last game before the bye week, Sunday Night Football, primetime against Baker at home.
Going W. Close game, high-scoring game. Give me a W.
All right. Well, we update the record at the bye week. Looks like we're sitting at 5-4. I'll be honest, I think they're going to have a better record than this, but these are your picks, and I'm here for it. I'm a bit surprised, not going to lie, but off the bye week versus the Saints.
I'm pretty low on the Saints. This is another W.
Okay. Here we go. Win number 6 versus the Saints. Then at the Lions, Thursday Night Football, quick turnaround time. I believe this is no, I don't think this is the oh no, it is week 12. Yeah, this is Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, big game. This is a loss. Thanksgiving at Detroit. I mean, we got revenge on them last year. That first, what was it, week 2 when they put up 50 points against us, and Dan Campbell was still throwing the ball up by 25, 26 points. I don't know. I don't like the matchup against the Lions. High scoring game. This game could be like 65 points.
I mean, they got owned last year, so it's a very fair stance to take. For some reason, the Lions kind of suck on Thanksgiving for whatever it's worth. Like they have trended
Packers,
to lose a few times, but they just own the Bears. I think that's a reasonable bet there. Then following that, versus the Jaguars at home, Sunday morning.
I want to say tie. Honestly, like could happen. I'm gonna look at the next couple of games here before I. You know what? Give me a win on this one. Give me a win.
Okay.
Two really good head coaches here, young head coaches battling it out, and Trevor Lawrence is gonna throw some picks.
All right. So beating the Jaguars at home, then on the road at the Dolphins. Does Malik?
This is another bye week. Another bye week here. So this is a W. This is a easy W.
Yeah, definitely that one. Lockstep. At the Bills, though, Saturday night, little flex action, primetime matchup against Josh Allen. Who you got?
We're going L. We are going L on this game. At Bills, some weather. Josh Allen.
Okay.
The only upside is this time of year, Josh Allen's always hurt. He's playing through injuries, always.
He stays on the field, though. But
I'm not saying he hasn't missed any games. He hasn't missed a game since his rookie year, but he's always a little bit dinged up at this point. But I'm still saying L to the Bills. Josh Allen gets it done.
On the road, if it wasn't December and the weather's probably like a huge factor, I think I'd probably go with Chicago. But the Bills don't usually lose in like a snowstorm, and that's a pretty high chance. So an L at the Bills, and then we got 3 games left, all divisional matchups. The rematch versus the Packers. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Bears here. I'm gonna go Bears.
Another
again,
win.
all tight games with the Packers, all just like it was last year. I'm gonna go W. I don't think they're gonna go 0-2 against the Packers.
That game is on Christmas, by the way, on Netflix. But versus the Lions, that dominance, does it repeat, or are they righting the ship?
They're righting the ship here. They're gonna
Okay.
they're gonna get back in here, and I think one of the reasons is the Lions might already have this division locked up. I'm pretty high on the Lions this year, although their defense is awful. This could be, one of those circus teams for fantasy. The Lions, I know. So give me a W here, and then I'll go with an L for the last week against the Vikings.
Interesting. So a full split in division, 3-3 in division. Let's bring that last L in.
Still
All
a
right.
decent record, right?
I believe it's 10-7, if my math is correct. Yeah, that checks out. 10-7. I will be honest. The last guest we had was Justin Bruni, also a Bears fan. He had them going 12-5. I have them going 11-6 myself. So I'm actually a little bit higher on them. Basically, I don't know exactly the games I differ, but I do believe I think they win that Vikings game, that final week. So pretty reasonable. That's probably going to be more of a playoff team. Are you worried at all at 10-7 that they could miss the playoffs?
In the NFC, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
I would bet, I think it's plus 102 from them to miss the playoffs. So it's even odds either way. Whatever way you want to lean. They are the 3rd favorite in the division. So it's not like Vegas is telling us that the Bears are going to be this juggernaut.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule was a huge factor. Like, I'm a big believer that 4th place schedule is such a huge advantage. When you're in a tight division like this, like stepping up to that 1st place schedule is really tough. Like, the Lions are going to crush this year because they finished last. And
can you believe the Vikings actually finished ahead of the Lions last year?
I know.
With all that shit, their defense is beat up. JJ McCarthy, Carson Wentz with one arm. It was such a bad. The optics of that season was like an F. And that's what Kevin O'Connell does. Like 9 wins for that team last year. It felt like 5.
Yeah, no, it was pretty shocking that Brian Flores' defense just finds a way. And they did win week 17. That gave them the tiebreaker. That was pretty wild. But Avi got the Bears going 11-6. I think they're a playoff team. I think at 10-7, nothing is totally guaranteed. There's a chance they actually do miss it at 10-7. But I'll be honest with you. My prediction for the Super Bowl, I think the Bears will represent the NFC. Actually, I actually believe that.
You should have had my buddy Big Ray on. He's a doctor as well. You should have had him on because he's the biggest Bears fan ever, and he'd be shirtless right now for sure.
Well, it's going to be in LA. I want to believe that the Chargers are their opponent, but the more I think about it, I'm going to let myself not get too hurt, and I'm going to temper expectations. My Super Bowl matchup, I'm starting to pivot. I think it might be Bears Jaguars, to be honest with you.
Wow.
But Rams are definitely in contention. Seahawks could make it back. Lions are also up there. I think those are the only 4 teams I think can actually win the NFC, personally.
If Josh Allen and Lamar don't make it this year, it's never going to happen. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like one of those 2 teams have to, especially the Ravens. The Ravens, this is probably it for them this last season. Lamar's getting older. Derrick Henry, I mean, I know he keeps on doing it, but like another year older next year. Mark Andrews, they paid him. He's getting older. Like Lamar needs this. Josh Allen will be around for a while. Like he's not going to age as bad as Lamar, but eventually Mahomes will be back. Eventually he will be back.
I think from a scrutiny standpoint, they got to help themselves out and win some playoff games. But I kind of believe, like with rookie head coaches in both Baltimore and Buffalo, I have a hard time believing they will actually make it to the Super Bowl. But they're definitely up there. The AFC is so weak. If it's just like last season, where by week 2 of the playoffs, Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar aren't even available. Like last year was such an open, up for grabs AFC. We kind of got robbed by the Broncos not starting Bo Nix.
100%.
But the Patriots had just such an easy path. It was pretty crazy.
Would have been nice if it was your Chargers, in that spot.
Their O-line was just destined to, cripple them. It is what it is. They're cursed. They're cursed. But this is our year. This is our year. All right, man. This was fun. I appreciate the insight. I didn't expect the L versus the Eagles. I thought you might double down, but
Yeah, I didn't plan this at all. I just figured I'd go off like first reaction, right, and
yeah,
not looking too deep into it.
that's the way to do it. I like it. All right, well, we are going to draft in the Pit Bowl, and we have a little over an hour before your stream is set to debut. So we got a little bit of time. Let me. There we go. I think I just need to. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna hop into the Pit Bowl. We may have time for a second, but that's possibly not guaranteed. But at least we're gonna enter one more higher stakes draft. But I think if we advance out of this pod, we had a great chance to make the final in this one. 1 out of 6.
I love this tournament, man. I maxed out the last one. I love this one.
Yeah, of all the tournaments right now available on Underdog to max, I think this is clearly the one. And I'm not as excited about the 750 person final in the puppy. Like, okay,
Big.
but I'd much rather narrow my odds and not only play it like a big DFS slate, week 17. So I'll give y'all a countdown. If you guys want to join, we will be drafting in the Pit Bowl in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Did you see the new big eliminator they released?
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't really.
That advancement is weird.
I saw the $100 buy-in and I was kind of like, I'm probably out. What's the advance?
No, I'll do one, dude. So 10 out of 12 like advance so it's the opposite of the normal eliminator. So it's like 10 out of 12 advance the first week, and then it's 8 out of 12, or sorry, then it's 8 out of 10, and then once you get past week 10, it starts getting to almost head to head.
Okay.
But pretty insane. Like it's gonna lure people in because they're like, oh my god, 10 out of 12 advance, but you still have to make it to week 5 usually to get in the money.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the drafters survival structure. That one, that contest looks fire. Like 75% every single week up until the end.
Do you do drafters? I actually enjoy it. I love the longevity, just total point aspect of it.
I only started this year. I wasn't doing it last year, but I've done a few, and I will say there are some contests on there I'm hyped for, but I only like signed up in like early July, so I'm not really entering the main event because I feel like you missed out on all the ADP value that was there in May and June. So the survival, the mini, I'm down for those, but every now and then I'll do a main, but not too many. We got Albie in this draft. We got Killer Kazoo on the clock. Legion, what's up, Paul? He's at pick 3. Champ at pick 4. Willow, Logan, the Burgess in here. What's up, Austin? A-Rod, Underdog Anonymous at pick 7. Manila the Thrilla at 8. John Tara, our boy, at 9. We pulled the 10. Mai Tai at 11. And then Ideas at 12. Good luck, everyone. How do you feel about pick 10?
I love the right side. I love the right side. I think it's about the second round, right? You get at least a second tier running back.
Mm-hmm.
You're not falling out of there. And then I love the third and fourth, right? You can get, I'm a big Ted McMillan fan this year. You can get him sometimes in the 4th round. Garrett Wilson. The crazy thing now is I'm not a Trey McBride guy. I've been getting him a lot though in this 3.9, 3.10. Like at that point, give me Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah. At pick 34, I'll take Trey McBride for sure. Our click is coming up. I'm going to let you drive for the most part. We might have some debates over the course of the draft, but who would you like here?
I'd probably just take one of the receivers, whatever's there. The receiver.
Jefferson's the only one left.
Yeah, I would go Jefferson.
Okay. Is it just because of the 3 receiver in the starting lineup, or you just trust Jefferson more than those guys?
I'm willing to take Barkley there personally. I'm as high on Barkley as you are on Hampton, but I'm not looking to reach at that point. You know what I mean? Then I can just build out running backs later. And we're definitely taking a running back here because there's not going to be a receiver. Unless we want to take AJ Brown, who I'm not too high on AJ Brown this year. So I'll take him at like pick 22.
If you told me AJ Brown got the Jets matchup week 17 as opposed to 16, then I'd be in. But he draws Pat Surtain in the money week, and I'd rather kind of avoid that a little bit. So I got all my bads of AJ Brown in the 3rd, and I've kind of been a little less enthused. But you want Saquon here, or you want to go Hampton, Henry, Achane?
It's up to you. I know you want to go Hampton, but you probably need some Saquon exposure, right?
This is
Saquon for sure for me. This is the easiest click there is. I went back and watched 6 full games, Eagles games from last year. Dude, Pachulo, like it's way worse than we thought. It's way worse what they were doing last year. It was so predictable. Like that Bills second half was literally, it's one thing to know you're running the ball, but it was the same running play. It was literally a, halfback dive that you call in Madden every single play. And Barkley was also 80% of himself last year. He didn't look great, but give me anyone but Pachulo and he's going to have an extra 300 yards and probably 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. The coaching should be better. However, I just trust their offensive line. And then I also think, he had so many touches last season, 2 seasons prior when he put up the 2K. Like, inevitably, you have to regress a little bit. And while the yards per carry was pretty mid, the touchdowns were still fairly reliable. And then, my main bet against Saquon is that I worry about him getting hurt. And I think Tank Bigsby is one of the best handcuffs
I saw that
available.
I draft Tank all the time, too.
I have so much Tank, but I have come around. I used to think I wanted like 5% Saquon. I actually have 9% Saquon. I'm right at the field. I'm not full fading him.
Yeah.
I believe in the Eagles backfield, and that's ultimately the bet I'm trying to make. So if I have that much Tank and he never gets the start, then it would behoove me to have some teams with Saquon as well. So I don't mind it. I do have Hampton ranked above him, but Saquon, we drafted him top 5 last season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very reasonable bet.
2 reasons why I love Saquon in watching those games back. There was that stretch where AJ Brown was pouting, and the way that Jalen Hurts was forcing the ball to him was unreal. And I identified at least 15 plays, and Jalen Hurts is not really a check down merchant where and it's Saquon Barkley too. If you give him a throw to the flat, like where Devin Singletary gets you 4, Barkley gets you 14. And he just wasn't looking Barkley's way at all. And I feel like this year without AJ Brown, I'm not a big Lemon fan for fantasy, but without, a true alpha there, he's going to have, I think 50 catches is reasonable. I mean, we've seen Saquon have 80 receptions as a rookie. We've seen him. He's a serviceable pass catcher. And if that increases to, from 37, he's at 33 and 37 his first 2 years in Philly. If he gets up to 50 receptions with Saquon Barkley's explosiveness, that's where you get the $1,800 all-purpose yards. That's where you get the 12 touchdowns. And he's definitely more of a floor. I feel like Hampton does have more upside just based on that offense being potential top 5, where the Eagles were not going to be top 5. We all know that.
The upside, you could argue, is just as high for Saquon, though, but I think the floor is definitely safer, barring the injury. I would assume there is still the Keaton Mitchell factor, and just Hampton, I think, proved enough last year, but he got hurt pretty quickly, stayed off the field for a while. We've seen more out of Saquon. It's probably the safer bet, but I think, like you said, the higher ceiling might be Hampton this year. But if we get 2K yards again, that'll look pretty dumb to fade Saquon. But so I don't mind it. I've come around to it. If we were drafting in March, I'd probably feel differently about it, but I've slowly come around to it. I've come to my senses. We have Breece.
What do you got here?
At pick 34, I don't mind the fall on Breece. The receivers, I don't think are worth pulling up, so I don't mind Breece. I like Kyron a little bit. What do you want? 6 seconds.
I would go Breece over Kyron.
Okay.
Because we're going to get one of Tet, Waddle, or Garrett Wilson the next round. If we want to go receiver.
Yeah, structurally, I think I'd rather just grab a running back here. With the discount on Breece, I'm willing to mix him in. I don't have a ton of him. I actually rank Kyron higher, but the true upside of him any given week is still 30 points. So I don't want to be full fading Breece.
Yeah, I'm a huge Corum guy. So I understand Kyron's probably one of the safer bets in fantasy at his ADP. But that's the point. He's a safe bet. Unless there's an injury to Corum, he doesn't have the upside of Javonte Williams even, who Vegas is telling us is at 9.5 over under touchdowns for rushing touchdowns. That's a big ass number.
If he stays healthy. If he can stay healthy. Your boy Tet goes, I would love Waddle here. I don't want double Jets, but
yeah, we're not taking double Jets. No way.
You want Waddle or someone else?
I'm fine with Waddle. I don't take a bunch of Waddle, but reports are all good, and he seems like a spike week guy this year with Bo Nix. Gonna have definitely some clunkers with that defense as well.
There's just the element of the draft capital it wasn't just a first, it was also a third and a fourth, a pick swap or something. It was a lot of trade capital to get Waddle. Plus you factor in how Bo Nix was the leading pass attempts in the entire NFL last year. I just think there's so much volume available. Waddle, the only reason to be scared, I think, is his injury concern. He's had some injury prone.
He's a blue tent guy. He lives in the blue tent. Doesn't miss a lot of time though, but he's a guy that will miss like 3/4 of a game twice a year, which sucks for redraft because it's like, yo, I started this guy. He had 2 for 30 in the first quarter and he ended with freaking 5 points.
Yeah, you'll see him hit the locker room, but usually play the next week. That type of vibe.
We have the Woody Marks joke that not only is he the blue tent merchant, like he actually like his business is he sells blue tents. So like he's installing them. Like, dude, he was in the blue tent like 11 times last year, but always came back in the game. It was wild. Like looked like his leg fell off, and like he's just back in one series.
Yeah, sometimes it's just the nature of like pop it back in, like watching Kobe growing up, like there's some players that can just figure it out and they can just lock in like, oh, did I just dislocate my finger? Just pop it in, man. Just pop it back in. We're good to go.
Paul Pierce, baby. Fucking wheelchair.
To quote Kobe Bryant, when he walked off the field after popping his Achilles, fuck Paul Pierce.
Exactly. Made the free throw too.
Both of them.
That's funny. He said that is such a Kobe. It should be on Kobe's tombstone. You know what I mean? And like, sorry, Paul Pierce, but
his trainer was like, "You want a chair? I can get you a chair." And he just looked him dead in the eyes. Fuck Paul Pierce, and just walked to the locker room. Kobe's the GOAT. By the way, he's behind me, right there. Him and Shaq are on the wall. But yo, what's up, Who Hames? Thanks for popping in. Who Hames had some dope streams earlier. Good friend of the channel. Shout out our boy Who Hames. But what's up, Fancy Dog as well? Nice to see you. All right, so far we're very balanced.
Yep.
Is there a structure that you really lean towards in these, or it's always just let the board come to you and decide later?
I'm a big late tight end guy. Like I want to have 3 tight ends. I feel like, it's tight ends you're drafting around 16 tend to outscore the wide receivers in round 16. So it's like, why not take a 3rd tight end? But when you take Tyler Warren, for instance, it's not good business to take a 3rd tight end. So if Tyler Warren falls, hell yeah. But I don't think what are we at 58? So he's like ADP 63. So we could probably get him in the 6th round.
Yeah, that would line up perfectly with our 6th round pick. I like Tyler Warren as a selection, especially if that like receiver depth is gone. In round 6, I'm a big onesie guy. I want either the quarterback typically or that elite tight end with Tyler Warren. But if there's still a good value at receiver, I'm willing to do it. Quick question for you. Bucky Irving goes at 55. Are you in or out on Bucky? I feel like there's a lot of shifting.
I'm out on Bucky, but my exposure says I'm in on Bucky.
Okay.
And it's just because the fall recently, now he's going to literally ADP 55. I've been getting him at 58. Like I'm in on Bucky at 58. I wasn't in on Bucky at 50. So I started off with 0% Bucky, and now I'm just like, all right, I'll take him when he's there. He's the last of that tier for me.
We are on the clock. Do you want Lamar here or go receiver?
Dude, Lamar. We can go Lamar and make sure we get Andrews. We have to get Andrews.
Only if you want him. Who's your pick here?
I'm down. Yeah, let's go.
It's a very safe pick. It never feels gross. It's always just like, why are we letting him fall? Okay, I guess I'll take him, but sometimes I pass as well. Just structural.
Easy to backstack though, and you got to take a shot on Surratt or Bateman, but Mark Andrews would be huge for this team. That is kind of a must at this point.
According to reports, Jacoby Lane looks like the front runner for wide receiver.
Yeah.
3. Apparently he's killing camp.
Like 30 receptions though as last year in college. Like that's just scary, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they did draft him above Surratt. I do think sometimes they telegraph how they feel with the draft. Sometimes I kind of want to just lean into that. Trust the scouting department in the building. But I
still can't believe the Raiders didn't take Surratt. Like, what are you doing, Raiders?
You want Tyler Warren or BTJ, Jordan
Hell yeah.
Texton?
Let's go Tyler Warren.
Talk to me about Tyler Warren.
Early season especially. So this is why I love Tyler Warren. Early season, like Alec Pierce, I expect him to play Alec Pierce week 1, but what does that look like, right? Not so much the snap share, but the effectiveness. Daniel Jones coming out of Achilles. The mobility will be less. The ability to stand in the pocket will be less. Check down city, man. Tyler Warren's the number 1 option there. I could make an argument that I want him over Loveland, more so in PPR. Like Tyler Warren is more of a PPR play for me than Loveland. Loveland has the 10+ touchdown upside, but let's not forget Tyler Warren at Penn State threw touchdown passes. And I noticed this watching Nick Singleton's film. Like, dude, I saw him have, I think, 2 or 3 touchdown passes to Nick Singleton. They use them, in the Wildcat. Like those are really valuable in fantasy. When a tight end can get just call it 2 touchdowns from rushing or throw. Like that's unreal. That is a free 10 points that you're not getting anywhere else from any other tight end. And it's the volume. And you look at the splits last year, dude. It was once Daniel Jones had the original shin injury, it went down. And then once Daniel Jones was out, he was going like 2 for 23 every week. And he was 5 for 55, like clockwork the first 9 weeks. The only problem was the touchdowns weren't there because JT was scoring literally like 1.5 touchdowns a game. So Tyler Warren just seems like this in the 6th round. I don't know why there's a 2-round gap between Loveland and Warren.
I think it's just the true upside. Like, I don't think we saw a single 20-point game out of Tyler Warren. And in this format, that just does matter.
Correct.
But I'm there with you, man. Obviously, no one's better than Taylor athletically on that team. But bar none, unquestioned, the next best athlete on the field is Tyler Warren in every single game. And with the Pittman departure, my projection, sometimes I want to say 150 targets for Tyler Warren. Like, I don't think it impossible.
Could happen like that. It's going to be, Loveland won't have that target upside. It'll be more efficient, probably, at least bigger plays. But yeah. I'm also really low on the Colts defense. Like, I'm not a Sauce Gardner guy. He's coming up an injury. This defense is rough. Dude, they gave up so much draft capital the last couple of years. They haven't replenished this defense. And it was always kind of a big play defense. I don't think they're making big plays anymore and splashy turnover plays. And they're always giving up chunk yardage. Like, this is going to be kind of a shootout team. And that's what we're looking for in fantasy.
Yeah, their defense should, like, on paper, it has some names. I will say the Charvarius Ward situation is kind of another ripple in their defense. Like, on paper, they might have 2 elite corners if Charvarius Ward can just stay healthy. But yeah, Sauce was really falling off last season with the Jets, and then when he went to the Colts, he just didn't really deliver. So I could see a bunch of shootouts. I just think the volume is so safe there. And, like, even if they do sign Keenan, I don't think it affects Tyler Warren at all. I would not lower Warren. I might be worried about Josh Downs, but I don't think I'd worry about Tyler Warren.
Well, this, you're a Chargers fan. Keenan Allen, and I know this is a Bears fan, right? He could move around earlier in his career. He is a strict slot merchant. And Josh Downs, they keep on talking about moving him to the outside. Josh Downs is, like, smaller than me, dude. Like, he's not playing X receiver. So I don't want Keenan Allen on any team. Like, for anyone's sake, I love Keenan Allen, Hall of Famer, dude, but just hang it up. Go sit on a beach and just chill, dude.
If you could make $10 million next year, winning 5 games, I think you would do it.
But not if I already had $130 million in the bank, dude. I'd be chilling.
You'd get greedy. You'd find a way. You'd find a way to stay relevant.
This is Quentin Johnson for sure.
Okay.
I don't want to take. We can't take Sutton. We can't take Sutton in.
You want QJ?
Well, I mean, who else are we looking at? Like, we can't take Josh Downs. That's two Colts.
I don't need to be sold on it.
QJ.
Let's do QJ at 82. Sure. This is where he used to go. This feels much better than taking him in the 6th. But
if we we're falling way too behind at wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, we just had no choice. Yeah, it's not a bad pick either. After ADP, 8 picks after ADP.
Yeah, no, structurally makes plenty of sense, and
I know you're loving it. You love Quentin Johnson.
You saw my exposure. This is where I'm taking QJ like crazy. He's fallen off a little bit since he rose, but God. Yeah, here the reason I took him so much though is because I would take Herbert here, and then in the 8th I'd come back around and take QJ like all the fucking time. So now that he's more expensive, I don't have as much, but I still have a lot of QJ. We're back on the board. I will say I do not want Chuba Hubbard, but this is your pick.
No, not anymore. This is probably either Rico. We can't take Addison, so it's probably Rico Dowdle. For
Rico
me.
Or Pittman for me. But if you want Rico, I'm fine with that.
I want Rico, and then we're pretty much done at running back for quite a while. Now we're getting into the handcuff range. 3. I think Rico's a starter there. I know the report today wasn't great. I'm not reading into that. Like, Rico Dowdle is 1,000-yard rusher. That's what he's going to do. He's going to catch a lot of passes from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, back-to-back seasons with 1,000 rushing yards and a 30-plus catches as well. Kind of goes below the radar. But I just don't believe in, like, the true upside of Warren. I don't think it's ever going to be, like, more than a 60-40 split either way. However, the thing about Rico is, like, he kind of needs, like, a little extra motivation. Like, when he exploded last year, he was on the bench for a while, and then he had that Cowboys revenge game
Yep.
after they moved off of him, and he was like, "Yo, you really wanted to bet against me? Watch this, bitch."
Chirping him, dude. Chirping him.
Yeah. So from an explosiveness standpoint, he can give you 200 yards. I don't need him to hit every single week, but for this price, I don't see that much of a difference between him and Tony Pollard, and I like Pollard's value a lot. So I'm a big Rico guy myself, but I will say the camp reports are a little bit eyebrow raising, just a little bit.
What I love though is there's not a third guy. You know, like when you can identify backfield with 2 guys, and like Caleb Johnson should be that guy. He should be, but he's probably going to get cut. I mean, so it's a two-headed monster, and they're going to utilize the running backs probably less than last year because of the Pittman signing. But now you don't have 3 tight ends in there. It's not, you don't have Jonnu Smith taking 4 touches a week. So, which was a mess last year. Jonnu and Washington, Freiermuth. I don't know why it wasn't always Freiermuth. That was weird last year.
Arthur Smith, just nepotism is little.
Arthur Smith's worth like $100 million, right? His family is. They're like generationally wealthy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even need to coach. He's like, oh, this sounds like fun. Hey, Bijan, here's 7 carries.
He's got a migraine this week. We're not going to let him touch the ball. We're just
unreal.
Really letting him rest up. But what's up, Candyman? Nice to see you. If anyone hasn't checked out the FF Garage, good friend of the channel. What's up, Chris?
An Iron Throne member.
Yes, another member of the Iron Throne. We are going against each other, but today we are drafting together. Avi says, Keenan going to go to the Ravens or maybe like the Packers. I can't see the Packers. That'd be insane to me. And at this point, I think the Ravens are getting confident in their rookies. I don't see the Ravens for Keenan myself. It'd be a bit shocking. I think he's going to the Colts. Maybe he would go to. Honestly, I can't even think of another place he would go. I think it's Colts or no one.
What do you think the chances are that Keenan signs? It sounds like you're optimistic on this.
I mean, if you ask his wife, she's confirmed it's going to happen. But I basically assumed it's like he will go somewhere. He's gearing up to play once I saw the rumors with the Colts earlier in July. Like where there's smoke, there's fire. And he's got the Shane Steichen connection. Steichen knows exactly how to draw up plays for him. So I think it's the Colts. I think they need someone to replace Pittman. And with the Alec Pierce injury, I think it's going to be the Colts. But sounds like she just wants him out of the house. Maybe. But
if only he was married to Giselle, he would retire because Giselle's like, you're retiring. Get back in the house, Tom.
No, you'd risk the divorce if you were married to Giselle, apparently. All right, we're coming back around. We got the 1-3-3-1 with Lamar and Tyler Warren. Where would you like to go here? Receiver's kind of drying up, but
I know it's gross. I think we have to go receiver, but I mean, we could finish off running back if you want, and almost make this a 4 running back team. Be risky, but
I don't think I want to take Rashad or Mason. I think I'd rather go quarterback with Bo Nix, honestly, because we have Waddle.
All right.
And just lock that up. I love the Lamar Jackson, Bo Nix, and just stopping, honestly.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Unless you want Kyler.
Give me Bo Nix ahead of Kyler.
Okay. I would agree. I think I trust Bo Nix a little bit more. But we did have Jefferson, so either would have made sense. And then here, I think we should take a receiver. I'd be fine with Dobbs. Wandale is decent. I don't think I want any of the other ones, though. So one of them will be here.
Yeah, this is your call on this one. I guess it's Wandale.
Dobbs would have been perfect because of the bring back. So unless you want to go triple quarterback, but I don't see the purpose, I think Wandale's the play.
Yeah. Just strictly build purpose. With Lamar, I'm never taking 3 quarterbacks unless it's like Geno and Brissett with Lamar. That's the only time I would do that.
Right. Do you have a stance on a running back in this range? Because they're pretty, there's not that many options, but the Commanders, the Vikings, both of them are still on the board. Is there a running back you like in this range a lot that you usually take?
I've been taking more Rachaad White recently, but I don't think Rachaad White's a great player. He's a good pass catcher, but we've seen him have a big workload as a rookie. Or sorry, it was a second year, big workload, but what was it, 3.6 yards a carry? We saw him literally lose his job. He had the job after Bucky got hurt last year, and then Sean Tucker, there it is. There's Sean Tucker leading the backfield. So I've been taking a lot of Jordan Mason, though. I am not an Aaron Jones believer, and whether that's his limited workload because they need to keep him healthy because they need Aaron Jones this year, or if they're going to give Aaron Jones 50% of the work, he will break down. And kind of a Claiborne guy, I think he is a late season stash, right? He's a guy that maybe when they're out of contention actually like carves out a little role. But Jordan Mason, somehow his metrics were great last year. The eye test was not great for Jordan Mason last year. So I'm like trying to be like, hey, I watched him suck. And then I look at the advanced metrics and he was good. So I think it's somewhere in between. I think Jordan Mason's a fine player. Kyler's not going to run a lot in the red zone anymore. So this is Jordan Mason with 7-8 touchdowns this year, which seems really nice at that range.
Well, the thing about like the camp reports, it seems like their plan is to definitely favor Mason and then slowly fade out Jones, but still use him in passing because Mason does not catch any passes. Like if you get 2 targets out of Mason, that's like his ceiling. So Jones will still factor in. Claiborne can catch passes, but I kind of look at the Kevin O'Connell running back history. Touchdowns are hard to come by. Like Aaron Jones has scored the most touchdowns of any like KOC Vikings running back. And he peaked at like 7 2 years ago. So I just kind of struggled to see like the true upside. But then I also look at 2 years ago where Mason lit it up as the workhorse in the Shanahan offense. And there's like still something there, but that's to the Shanahan system. Like I said on KOC, it's just not really his like, it's not his forte to draw up plays for the running back. So I feel like they're kind of all a little mid. But the one reason why I do take them on occasion is because they do get the Jets week 17 and that feels like the perfect game script. But maybe Claiborne does get that opportunity. He's got the speed, but it's the camp reports are kind of bearish on Claiborne apparently.
Yeah, draft capital isn't great though, and like he profiles as a pass catcher, but watching his film out of college, like he's fine, but like you expect a guy that's 180 pounds to be dynamic, right, and have good hands. Not a natural catcher. I mean, he could definitely evolve into this, but you know, people are gonna say he's the next Devin A. Chain. Like, let's pump the brakes on Damon Claiborne.
Yeah, he's definitely not the next Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's Travion Henderson, man. Haven't you heard this? What is your stand? Let's get this pick in, and Mark Andrews sitting there right for us. Oh,
John Tara.
We can't take Andrews. We can't take our Andrews though. Never mind. We have week 13 with.
Okay.
We have week 13 with Warren already, right?
Yeah, we do. At tight end here, if we're not going Andrews, my rank would say Goddard. But I don't mind.
If we take Andrews, we have to take a third, and that's an issue.
5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Yeah, let's take Goddard.
Goddard's my most drafted tight end, so I'm never upset with that. I think we could get boxed out at receiver because like in today's market, the receiver position has really dried up in the later rounds. So as much as I like the options we have, I think structurally we might need another receiver here just to get who we like.
Oh, 100%. Because we're done at tight end. We're done at quarterback. And I feel pretty good about that running back room.
This would be a 9-pick slide on Shakir. I'm not in love with him, but he does go. So not even available. I wouldn't hate a Keaton Mitchell, honestly, here.
Let's do that.
I wouldn't hate it. Otherwise, we're pulling up Stribling or like McMillan. Yeah. Let's go
cool with that.
We did not take Hampton, so especially by fading him in round 2, let's take his backup. There's just so much upside in this offense, and I do mix in a Keaton Mitchell every now and then. I don't have a ton of him. I got so much Hampton. I don't like to bet against it, but I still think they can still coexist a little bit. And like just the nature of like the Mike McDaniel offense, I think it's reasonable to expect like 4 house calls from Keaton Mitchell. Four or 5 spike weeks, I think is a reasonable expectation. And it's hard to find moving forward at running back. So it's okay. It's not my favorite pick, but on this team, I didn't like the receiver options there. So I'm fine with it.
They've been talking about his pass catching a lot, and you know, in Baltimore they didn't use him at all. And like he profiles as the guy that should be a good pass catcher because you get him in the open field and he's gone. But he just hasn't happened. But they've been talking that up. Herbert will check the ball down, and We needed that anyway because I'm not reaching on Stribling or Hunter. I think we just have to really stack receivers here these next 3 picks probably.
There's some names I like late. I say the rest of the way we can really throw ADP out the window. I think now we're in the $1 range. So if there's a guy you really like or I like and we agree, I'm perfectly happy just taking him even 15, 20 picks above ADP because where we are on the board, like we have to wait 18 picks for our next one. Like who's to say we get the guy we want coming back? So yeah, we can just hammer receiver for a bit. There are some, there's a lot of landmines at this stage, but there's also still a few gems remaining. I think we can figure it out.
If only we could make TJ Hawkinson a wide receiver. Yes. I know you hate Hawkinson. I heard your takes on him. Everyone hates Hawkinson. He's the most hated player this year by everyone. Everyone's writing him off. He's terrible. He's done. Tight end 23. It's my guy. Every day I talk about him for 5 minutes because it's the most free pick in the history of fantasy football. 170.
You don't worry that knee injury has just decimated his upside?
I hate that it was a helmet to the knee. I hate that. Zach Ertz was all but dusty, and Zach Ertz with Jaden Daniels was great, right? Relatively great for, where you drafted him that year. And it was 7 touchdowns. It was 800 yards. Yeah. Like Hawkinson doesn't need to do anything to beat his ADP. He just needs to be on the field, and he's going to be on the field because Josh Oliver is the only guy there.
Well, he was on the field didn't he play all 17 games last season? Am I wrong about that?
That's JJ McCarthy though. I mean, JJ McCarthy, bro, is that's you. You were playing quarterback right last year for the Vikings. You know that, right? You don't remember this?
Yes, but I still only sent him 65 targets. I can get more targets out of potentially Pat Fryermuth. I think I can get more upside out of Terrence Ferguson. As Huhames is pointing out here, free picks are sometimes free for a reason.
It's 2 years removed though. That's the thing. He's 29. Is he dusty? I don't think he's as dusty as people think. I think he's a professional receiver. Sorry, tight end. I'm gonna call him receiver because he is a receiver. Probably. And 60 catches, man. 60 catches right now. Boom.
Possibly, but he was a cut candidate back in April. They restructured his contract to keep him on the team, and Kyler just doesn't throw touchdowns to the tight end. Cam Ward fell, and we do have Wandale, but receivers decimated. Unless you want to pull up Trey Harris
or Tesla.
For me, it's Trey Harris. You don't want the just big fall on Cam Ward just because it's stacked.
No, I don't want 3 quarterbacks with Lamar. Okay. I feel like that's counterproductive.
I don't mind spending 5 picks between quarterback and tight end, even with Lamar. It's a big fall, so I'm not totally opposed to it, but I understand why you don't want to do it. I'm totally fine.
I just think we're way behind at wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like this has to be 8 minimum. I think almost a 9 receiver build.
I mean, we do have Jefferson and Waddle. I think 8 is probably going to be okay, but
it's pretty fair, right?
If you want to go with a 2-6-8-2, I'd be down. Our running back room could stop at 5. Mm-hmm. I think I'd prefer the 2-6-8-2 than 9 receivers personally. But we have Saquon, so taking Bigsby is not something I'm going to lobby for. Pacheco's been falling lately. It doesn't feel necessary. Let's just look at receiver. Is there a guy that stands out to you?
I like both the top 2 guys. We already have Breece Hall, though, so I don't want 2 Jets, personally.
I do not want A.D. Mitchell at all. So it's either Tesla, which I'm okay with.
I'm a Tesla dude. I want a piece of this Lions offense. The reports are not good. I don't know if you saw the report that he's not separating, and it's a lot of passes are getting deflected, but guy's going to score touchdowns, and maybe that's only 4 or 5, but at this stage of the draft, what if Jameson Williams gets hurt? I mean, that's not a crazy thought to say. He's a string.
Yeah, no, the contingent upside is very high for Isaac Tesla. He had some opportunities last year. Like there was a game where I think J-Mo missed a game last year. I think he only played 16. There was one week where it was like clearly Tesla has an opportunity, and he had like 3 end zone targets. One of them, he ran the wrong route. He turned over the wrong shoulder. He was wide open, but Goff missed him because he just turned the wrong shoulder. The second one, I believe he caught, and then the third one, he just dropped straight up. So he had a lot left to be desired, But they did draft him in the 3rd round. They traded up a little bit to get him. I wish we could take him where we took him last year, though. Last year he was free. Now you do need to get some legit production for it to pay off.
A lot of Teslas, you know, all the highlight catches, all that stuff was a lot of it was garbage time last year. I will acknowledge that, but just give me a piece of this Lions offense.
Yeah, he wasn't that much different than like a Tez Walker when you really think about it. Like I believe they both had 6 touchdowns on like 17 catches basically. So no one drafts Tez Walker, but we still always draft Isaac Tesla. I think he has some upside though. I think the name value though, he has a fun name. Sometimes that also
Khalif Raymond being gone though is a nice opening, right? We saw Raymond have some splash plays, and this guy is a bigger body than Khalif Raymond.
Yeah, that's a fair point. They did not replace him with anyone, so it's Tesla behind JMO and Amon-Ra, no one else.
I believe they traded up to get Tesla out of Arkansas too, which I know it's just whatever. It's a crutch argument, but
it's a few picks.
They did like him,
but still a trade up. Yeah. Kyler doesn't throw touchdowns.
Telling you, dude, people hate TJ Hawkinson. Whenever I just get so much hate, and that's fine. People hated Javonte Williams last year too, and I know it's not a great comparison, but he was going in the 10th round last year, and it's because he was washed. There goes my boy. There he goes. Bye, TJ. I miss you, man.
I think he's fine. I only take him stacked though. That's my stance. I only take him stacked. I have about 4 or 5%. I have a decent amount of Kyler, so
you don't want to know my percentage, man. You don't want to know it.
Well, we're gonna go over exposures on your channel. So.
I'll tell you guys, it was at 43%. Not gonna lie.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's down to 35. It's down to 35.
Holy shit.
Oh no, I'm planting a flag, dude. I don't think he's top 12. He doesn't need to be top 12.
We're on the clock. Do you want running back or receiver here? I wouldn't hate Brian Robinson, but AD Mitchell's still there for you.
God, 2 Jets.
3 seconds.
Go.
I'm gonna queue up B-Rob.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm fine with B-Rob or Ray Davis there. Give me I think B-Rob has more weekly floor.
Yeah, and then not that I worry about Ty Johnson in the event that James Cook goes down, but there is that factor as well. It's just only Brian Robinson versus Ray Davis and Ty Johnson. But I think they're both good. They're both valid. I have a lot more B-Rob, though, just because I took him a decent amount in pre-draft. That's the main reason. All right, so if we're building out that 2-6-8-2, we got 3 picks left. It's still just running back and receiver. Kayshon Bouttie's been moving up the board lately. That would be a bring back against the Broncos. Would you be interested in that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
AD Mitchell's still here, though.
If Mitchell's there, I think we just take him. I mean, I know it sucks to have 2 Jets, but like that's what are we at?
It's
11 picks.
11 pick slide. You mentioned him 2 rounds ago. I'll take him. We get the bring back against the Vikings.
I am not an Omar Cooper guy this year. Adonai Mitchell is going to be at least starting the year as the number 2. And the Sadiq injury too, right now, the hernia thing, like this is real. And people are fading the rest of the receivers because Sadiq is going to be on the field a lot. But what if he's not even healthy?
What's up, Austin? I noticed your message, Austin, real quick in the chat that something wasn't being seen in your comments. I see you, brother. You're here. I'm locking in with the guest as well. I'm not focusing on the chat too crazy, but Crumb, you got choked up. Is that in a good way?
I will tell you this. I had 36 redrafts last year, and this didn't work out because of the injury. I had 19 shares of Tucker Kraft. That was my guy last year, and it was the greatest thing ever for 5 weeks. Like I was 5-0 in so many of those leagues, and luckily I had Harold Fannin to bail me out there. But
nice.
That was my guy last year that I was talking about every single show. Now this is probably not the same thing. Because Hawkinson's terrible. I mean, I understand he's terrible. Bad players can have good years.
Well, he used to be elite. Like I'm not going to pretend like he didn't used to be amazing, but I just think the injuries have really ruined him. And for whatever reason, he's just not really a big touchdown threat. They used Josh Oliver in the red zone a lot more often than you would like. That is very frustrating. But
and Kyler threw what 1 touchdown pass to Trey McBride his last year. I understand all the negatives. I can also play devil's advocate there, but I don't know. I have hope for Kyler Murray this year. I have a lot of hope with Kevin O'Connell. This has to happen or Kyler's done. He's never getting a contract.
If it's not now, it's never. So he needs to lock up another contract before he just retires and goes back to baseball. So I think we can get one season out of Kyler where he actually looks good. But what I think will probably happen, it'll resemble that playoff season in Arizona where they start off red hot, and then it's like we're sitting at like 7-3, and now the bye week, the late season comes around, and all of a sudden he's just kind of checking out slowly, and like once I think they will make the playoffs. Actually, I have the Vikings as the 7 seed personally at 10-7, but there's no way they win a playoff game. Not with Kyler.
No, we saw that against the Rams a few years back. That was gnarly, that game.
I mean, if they draw the Rams matchup again and Aaron Donald is on the field, like just lock it up instantly. That one's
35-3.
Yeah. There'll be another pick 6 from the end zone as he just like flails it out of fear. Kyler is afraid of getting hit, and I don't blame him. I am also.
Are you a Torrey Horton guy?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Because that's one of my favorite last round. I also love Shaheed. Like, give me all, both those guys are like even exposure for me.
All right. So we're drafting at least one more receiver. The stack with Pat Bryant is there. Jacoby Lane, I think I would be down for as well. You mentioned Torrey Horton, who I like. I think with Tyler Warren, I don't think I want Keenan on this team. He goes, so perfect. Who would you like here?
We could take Pat Bryant. We're really lightly stacked. That is for real.
I think with Waddle, I'd be willing to go Jacoby Lane first and get the stack with Lamar. But if you want Pat Bryant, that's fine.
Oh, let's go Lane. I'm good with that.
Yeah. I think we can probably still get Pat Bryant on the way back if we want him. The question here is, are we taking that 9th receiver? Because I'll read you our receiver room. We have Jefferson, Waddle. Those two feel pretty solid up top. Within QJ, a lot of variance week to week, but upside. Wandale, not as much variance, but a decent floor. Trey Harris, if QJ doesn't hit that week, we get the opposite bet. And then Tesla, not that many contributions. Adonai scares me. And then Lane, who the fuck knows? If you want receiver 9, I wouldn't be completely opposed to it.
I think we're okay. I think it's better than I thought. QJ and Trey Harris give us a nice floor, right?
Well, we're on the clock. Do you want your boy
go to the running back real quick?
Do you want Claiborne, Emmett Johnson, Kalen Black? I mix in Connor every now and then. 6 seconds.
We could take Connor. Might get traded.
Only if you want him.
Yep.
I think they have enough with Algier and, the Jeremiah Love that inevitably they have to move off of Connor and Trey Benson. It looks like Benson's very clearly on the trade block, but I don't think anyone wants him. So to get some draft capital, they're clearly tanking for next season. Why would you not trade the Connor?
Well, I don't know if you heard that Trey Benson had a flare up again on his knee. So like that's another thing. Like this is the second time it's happened now. It happened last year when he was supposed to come back. Now he had the whole offseason. It's gonna be like a Ricky Pearsall situation where it's like they're just gonna maybe not shut him down, but he wasn't in their plans in the first place.
He can't stay healthy. It's kind of a moot point because he was worthless regardless of health. So if Benson's hurt, then if someone is going to trade with them, it would be for Connor. I think even if he just asked to be cut, I think they might just grant it as well. I think that's also possible. But
the Packers make so much sense. Like that is, I know you have two dinosaurs back there with Connor and Jacobs, but I think the Cowboys as well. Like those are two spots that make a hell of a lot of sense for James Conner and, competitive teams too. Like he wants to go to a winner. I know you love Arizona, but go to a winner, go to a good organization, finish your career there.
You didn't mention this, but I actually think the Vikings are a very sneaky spot for him because the Aaron Jones injury feels like a sure bet. The Kyler connection, it'd be a very seamless, addition. And Connor catches a lot of passes. That would be like if Claiborne just can't deliver in that regard and they lose Aaron Jones like week 3 to an Achilles or something, I think that would be a seamless fit, pretty perfect complement to Mason, where like you can expect Connor to really contribute and then just not get hurt because of all of the extra volume that would be loaded on Mason. So I think the Vikings are actually a very, very sneaky spot for that. But we got this team is complete. I'm gonna let you handle the team review. I'll scroll through it, but let the folks know what we drafted here.
All right. So we are lightly stacked. I'll just start there. But the advancement rate in this tournament is not. You don't have to stack this one like you stack a puppy. It's only a 6. You got to be first out of 6 in the first round of the playoffs, then 1 out of 5. So you don't really have to go to the moon to stack. So we have Lamar and Bo Nix. Really good value on both, honestly. Like that quarterback room with 2. Saquon, Breece Hall, Rico Dowdle, Keaton Mitchell, Brian Robinson, and James Conner. Pretty balanced. 6 might be a little heavy, but 5 might be a little bit light. Just a little light. So I like this running back room.
I think with the inconsistency of Breece Hall and then the chance that maybe Rico isn't always the starter, I think 6 is fine on this one. But we didn't draft 3 quarterbacks or tight ends, so we had a luxury pick. It is what it is.
Yep. And then Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle paired up with Bo Nix, Quentin Johnson, Wandale, Trey Harris, Tesla, Adonai Mitchell, and Jacoby Lane, who is getting drafted now for good reason. We needed one stack with Lamar. We wanted to take our boy Mark Andrews, but taking 2 tight ends a week 13 bye would pretty much have forced our hand to take a third one. So I'm kind of glad we didn't do that.
We still got a stack though. We got Jacoby, and if there's a quarterback that doesn't need to be stacked, it's probably Lamar.
But, Lamar and Jaden. Oh, and Malik Willis, because you really can't stack Malik Willis because you'd have to draft you or me. Greg Dulcich, I suppose.
Sorry, I'm kind of blanking.
We don't know who to stack Malik Willis with besides A-Chain.
Yes,
there's no one to stack him with. You have to pick out of 7 different receivers that probably will have 2 targets a game.
Yes, that's a very valid point. I think Dulcich is a decent stacking partner. I don't hate Caleb Douglas, but they both kind of feel a little worthless at times. Only the tight end feels like he's worth your time. But I think this team has some true upside. I think if we get QJ one week and then Trey Harris the next to kind of balance it out, I think that could be a really nice combo. But it'll come down to if our receivers can get it done. I think that's really the only weakness of this team. But with the 2 we have up top, I think we can get away with it. Where we just need one. We just need one. We can get some flex points out of tight end as well. But I really like our quarterback room. I draft specifically Lamar with Bo quite a bit, actually, for some reason. I have a lot of them together. But this Wandale pick, I think, might save us, but also kind of decide our fate.
Yeah, floor play too. And we needed some of those floor plays with, a little bit weaker up top, at least the 3. I like Quentin Johnson, but I prefer someone a little bit more consistent, I guess I'd say.
Yeah, if we had gotten, let's say, I think Godwin went right before us. Yeah, if we had gotten Godwin instead of Rico, I think this team might be a little bit more just secure in that regard. I don't think we needed the double Denver receiver though with Sutton, and then Addison is also high variance. We had Jefferson, so that Rico pick was very justified, other than pulling up Pittman for whatever reason. But yeah, receivers just getting so much more tough to draft these days now that Debo's not available where he used to be. Now that Diggs is getting moved up the board, it's just there aren't those guys that you can just fall back on. And then there's some rookies that are just quickly moving up as well, like Boston now in the 150s. And this one 148, but Stribling at 136. I didn't take a ton of him in the first place, but there's just not that many names that feel really safe after the 12th round, basically. But this team is fun. I think we got some upside.
It would have been really nice if we got Kenneth Gainwell and pull up the board a little bit. What would have been nice if we took Godwin, if Godwin fell to us, we could have taken Kenneth Gainwell and then still got Kyler Murray. That would have made the team a little better, in my opinion.
But that's not how it went. We didn't get it. I noticed it's been pretty much official the last couple days. Brooks is now officially overtaken Chuba. He goes at 88, Chuba at 99. What's your stance on the Panthers backfield? That's kind of a polarizing.
I was taking a lot of Chuba. I mean, I've been a Jonathan Brooks guy since Texas. I love the talents. It's just 2 ACLs, man. It's going to be Chuba's the lead. He's the leader of this backfield the first 5 weeks. I just don't think it's in their best interest to just push Jonathan Brooks into 20 touch a game role until you gotta ease him in, right? So Chuba is the definition of just a guy, though. You know, he catches passes, but it's like for 3 yards of reception. It's super low. He can give you some goal line carries, but he's not powerful. He's give you a 30-yard carry, but he's not very fast. He's just the definition of just a guy. But Chuba is also a team leader. He's literally a captain of the team. Like, they love him there. But we just saw it last year. He got Wally pipped by Rico Dowdle. We just saw it. So they drafted Jonathan Brooks in the second round for a reason. And that was coming off an ACL. If there was no ACL, Jonathan Brooks would have been a first-round pick in the NFL draft. So they're tied to him. They got to see what the kid has. He's an expiring asset. That appears to be the case. But if it's going to flip and you're going to say that Jonathan Brooks goes at 80 or 75, and then you can get Chuba at like 105, like give me Chuba all day. Because even when he's not the starter, it's Jaylen Warren essentially, and you get him 25 picks later than what you take Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, when I came into this offseason, I kind of wanted to remember with Carolina, last 2 years, the cheaper one has been the league winner. The cheaper one has paid off dramatically. 2 years ago was Chuba. Last year was Rico. So I was chasing up Brooks all the way up the board. Even in February, I was taking him like 175, 160.
Dude, yeah.
All the way up there. And then once he got to 100, I was like, well, I already have my bags packed. Why do I need to take on all this extra injury risk now that he's a inside pick 100? I'm going to stop. And now that Chuba's officially going behind Brooks, I will start to increase my Chuba shares. I was full fading Chuba for a long time. And the last couple of weeks, I've started to take him a little bit more. I think I took him at 95 the other day, and that felt so much better than, 70, 68, something like that. Like
it was at 75, pretty much like that range. And then I liked him at 80 back then. That was fair. And then it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of noise for Jonathan Brooks, and it's a lot of risks though. When we're talking about him going ahead of Chuba, they should be back to back. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I was hammering Herbert over Chuba the entire time, and so far
that makes sense.
That's paid off pretty well. But looks like we got 67 people watching, 38 likes. Appreciate everyone for joining this draft today. Shout out to the Professional Fanatics crew. Thank you all for joining this one. And we have about a half hour before your stream. So the only thing I think we would have time for is a Badge Bros Brawl if we wanted to draft another one. But I did kind of want to play that game with the Eagles and see, another win-loss pick take. And, if we have time, we can also maybe draft on your channel, but we're going to have a long discussion as well. So I do give team reviews to the members, and I want to make sure if anyone paid for membership, they do get that team review. It looks like John Tara is in here. So is A-Rod and the Burgess. I believe Albie as well. So there's 4 team reviews, and then maybe the Eagles win-loss pick game. Does that sound good to you?
Hell yeah, man.
Okay, sweet. Let's start with Albie at pick 1. He said he would like to trade his team with ours. Let's take a look though. He has a 3-5-7-3 quarterbacks with Caleb, Bryce Young, and Aaron Rodgers. How do you feel about the quarterback room?
I like it. This is just enough, right? Caleb and Bryce Young's probably a little light. So to get Aaron Rodgers, it's not a strength, but I feel like it's not a weakness. So I don't mind it. Pretty good value too on Bryce Young.
8-pick slide. It gets the job done, but if Caleb isn't really crushing, I worry about the upside a little bit week to week. But in terms of stacks, I don't think he had anyone with Caleb, actually. That's a bit surprising. He did not have anyone with Bryce Young either. And he drafted Michael Pittman, though. He does have the Pittman stack. That is it. So that is a bit thin on the stacks, I will say. But running back room has Gibbs, Bishal Tootin, Travion Harvey at 96, 10-pick slide there. And then Mike Washington. Are you taking these running backs with confidence, or are there any that you just don't like?
Well, Hendy ahead of ADP, I can't do it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Hendy? I've been very vocal about this since he was drafted. Not a Hendy guy. Once he returned that kickoff in the preseason, his ADP exploded. And then he had the stretch. We all know the stretch when Ramondre went out, and so many people were coming back, clapping back at me like, you were wrong, dude. I'm like, still think it's Stevenson's backfield, and the playoffs happened. So it's a different year. I understand that. But I'm fine with Hendy at like 57, I guess. What is your take on Hendy?
I think the only justification for pulling up Tootin and Hendy on this one is because he's at the bookend. At the one, you can kind of do whatever you want, and I'm okay with it. If it wasn't best ball, I would never take him here, though. It's just like you're not going to know when to play him unless Ramondre goes down. but he does have that 30-point upside. So I do mix him in. I have a decent amount of Travion, but I'm not dying to pull him up.
Are you a Judkins guy? Because like for me, I'm just taking Judkins every single time.
No, I'm a big Swift guy. I'm coming around on. I'm okay with Montgomery. I do take Travion a decent amount, but like I'm starting to click Tootin a little bit more. And usually I just take receiver in the 5th round. That's usually my stance. I like Loveland in the 5th. I would happily take Loveland in the 5th. But
no Judkins. No, I know it's the Browns. It's gross, but it's the workload, man.
He's okay if you just want a floor play, but the touchdown upside I really have a hard time believing in. And I had him in my redraft team. I was watching him kind of closely. There were some great games. Workhorse potential is there, but like I said, that's just for the sake of the floor. I worry that like if the game script isn't there, which it probably won't be, he's very matchup dependent. Like if you remove the Dolphins game last year in terrible weather, where they also got like insane field position when he punched in those 3 touchdowns. If you take that game out of the equation, it is rough. It is ugly on the game log for Quinshon Judkins. So I'm not fully sold that it's the best pick, but I think if you just need a running back there, it's fine. I mix him in a little bit, but he's not my favorite pick at all.
I can't stop drafting him. I mean, I was slow on him early in the offseason. I went back and watched the film. It's the Wildcat stuff in the red zone is awesome because they also don't want their quarterbacks to throw the ball inside the 5. And it was 19.6 touches a game last year. And that includes, no preseason, no training camp. I love Dylan Sampson as well for these best ball tournaments where he's going, especially in PPR. But like, if you could tell, if you're telling me in the 5th round, I can get a guy that's going to have potentially, I mean, if you just do the math and extrapolate it, 340 touches, like he still averaged 2 receptions a game, which is, he's not a pass catcher, but that's not Derrick Henry numbers. Like that's 34 catches. I can't stop 340. I know it seems crazy to say, but last year he did average, like I said, 20 touches a game as a rook.
I think it's a very valid pick. It's not my favorite pick, but I understand the argument. Talent wise, Browns took him over Travion for a reason. He looked like a baller. I will say that when he had good games, he did look like a baller. I just don't trust the Browns. That's
fair. That's fair.
But receiver room, we got London, Rashee Rice, Harrison, Michael Pittman Jr., Casey Concepcion, and Omar Cooper, Antonio Williams. There's some landmines on this one. There's a few picks I do not like here, but overall, I think it can work. What's your take on Harrison?
Man, I am drafting a lot of Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
And the stuff's not looking good right now, right? It's not. The optics, the body language. Wide receiver 34, that has to be his floor. Unless he's just out of the league. If it doesn't work out, I mean, you know this from Quentin Johnson. That rookie year was rough. And we've seen 2 years of this from Marvin Harrison, but I bring up Devontae Adams quite a bit with this. Devontae Adams was god-awful the first 2 years. God-awful the first 2 years. And nowhere near the prospect that Marvin Harrison was. Marvin Harrison he is a bust. He will be a bust. 3rd overall in the NFL draft, you have to be Julio Jones. You have to justify that pick. He's not going to be anywhere near that. Still has 12 touchdowns and 26 career games in the NFL, being terrible. I'm in on this. I'm in on this price, and he got him at 72. So that's a smash for me. I don't know. I'm guessing you're not a Marvin guy.
Those are fair points. I've kind of been of the stance that he needs the quarterback upgrade for me to trust him. If you look at his dad's career, first 3 seasons were not that impressive, and then year 4 with Peyton Manning, all pro the rest of the way. And I do kind of feel like, little Nepotiz, that I feel like he's kind of just going on the track of his dad. Like he's not a typical player, and I feel like it's a mentality thing with him. I kind of view him as like a little bit of a Devontae Parker-esque breakout candidate, where like until he's in a contract season, I kind of don't think he cares enough to, try to prove people wrong. And the drops are a little unfortunate. Michael Wilson looks pretty good, but like I just don't want to be fully committed to Arizona. I think they run the ball a lot more this year. And at that stage of the draft, I'd rather just go quarterback, but I mix him in on occasion. I'm talking myself into Michael Wilson being my preferred play though, among the two. But the upside, I mean, rookie season, we drafted him 10th overall. So
it's insane. It's insane that was the case.
Yeah. Pretty ridiculous. But versus 72, the price has never been cheaper. On that standpoint, I think you make a very valid point. So Maybe we'll never be able to draft him cheaper, but I just don't love the commitment to Arizona. Lastly, though, tight end room has Kittle, Strange, and Stowers. I never take Stowers. But
No, I don't even like taking when I have Hurts. Then that should tell you a lot. If
Yeah.
it's a stack and it's a third tight end, maybe some of the gadget stuff, which he was a converted quarterback, like maybe that could work. But late season, possibly not for me.
I think he's more of a project. I trust Howie Roseman's scouting department, but I still trust Goddard. And basically, the only upside for Stowers, in my opinion, is if Goddard gets hurt. But last pick of the draft, if you have Kittle, I guess, but I think I'd rather just take Jake Tonges, honestly. If I have the Kittle and need the third tight end. With all those injuries, I do think Tonges actually might factor in a little bit. He had 5 touchdowns last year. It's something. But this team has some true upside. I like getting the running back at 101 and then double tapping receiver, but I have been trending towards still taking that third receiver at the 4-5 turn with just one running back. So I don't hate this team. I think there's some upside. That Harvey value is not bad, but the receiver room has a few potholes I may want to avoid. Concepcion with his shoulder injury, I'm starting to just pivot towards Boston straight up. But I don't hate the team. I think it has some upside. The quarterback room is a little bit mid, however. But solid team from the 101. I don't mind it, Albie. I think you have a chance. Let me know if Legion, Paul, if you're in here and you're watching, if you are a member, please leave a message. We'll review your team. But at the moment, I'm not totally sure if you are still a member. I know you were in the past, but for now, I'm going to pass over that. We're going to take a look at Austin's team, who is a member, the Burgess here at pick 6, Drake May and Jared Goff. He also has Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Mason Kamara, Sean Tucker, Emmett Johnson. How do you feel about this running back room?
This looks like a puppy running back room, like a very aggressive, where if these guys pop off, I'm guessing the wide receiver room is stacked.
Most likely.
You need some stuff. Tucker, you need an injury possibly. I'm not a Tucker guy, but if Bucky gets hurt, Tucker will have his 3 giant weeks. And we still have to see what's up with Emmett Johnson versus Amari DiMercato. And if Emmett Johnson, I know he's a rookie, and it was a 5th round pick, but a 5th round pick in this recent NFL draft is like a 3rd round pick in most drafts, because this running back draft was terrible. But we don't know if he's the guy. I'm a big Emmett Johnson guy, though. I loved him out of Nebraska. This is an aggressive running back room, right? You have literally one starter. I mean, J.K. Dobbins will be the starter, but apparently they're bringing in Taysom Hill now. So you're going to have 4 guys in that backfield potentially. But I like Dobbins to kind of get you through those first few weeks. And then, we got to see what Kamara's role is, which it won't include a lot of touchdowns, I don't believe, because they're not going to give Kamara goal line carries.
Yeah. What about Josh Jacobs? Are you in on Jacobs in the 4th, or do you worry about the suspension risk? He feels like he's just worth clicking at this point.
100%. It's a risk. There's I think a 10%, maybe even less than 10%. But it sucks if you take a bunch of Josh Jacobs and they said they're still investigating it and he's out for the year. Which again, look at Judkins last year, right? Nothing. And Josh Jacobs is actually practicing. So I'll ask you this: where do you think Josh Jacobs should be drafted if this was a no issue? There was no report. And Josh Jacobs was at training camp just like every other year. Where do you think Josh Jacobs would be drafted?
Given the nature of the market, I think I'd like to have him back-to-back with Javonte at the top of the 4th. I'm not fully sold that he's worth that top of the 3rd pick, even though that's where he used to go. Because if not for the touchdowns, his efficiency was dog shit last year. And I think the Packers are going to lose more games this season. Their defense is not going to be as good without Micah Parsons. And I think they want to throw the ball more. So with the vibe of the jail and the prison sentence and all that shit, they're going to play out the contract. They pay him, but I just don't think they want to make him the face of the franchise. I think his touchdowns are going to come down. And it does sound like Lloyd is looking decent. So I think he will pay off 4th round, but I don't think I would draft him higher than 35, 36, 37.
The backup, again, everyone's talking about Lloyd. I understand that. The guy gets hurt in practice all the time. So it's I'm not really factoring him in as a guy I have to worry about taking touches. And Chris Brooks is a nice scat back, even though he's 220 pounds. It's a weird kind of situation with Chris Brooks, but neither of these guys threaten Josh Jacobs. You know what I mean? He's going to get 20 touches, but it's going to be that empty calorie crap. But he's had, I think it's 13 and 27 touchdowns in 2 years with Green Bay. Like the touchdowns will be there. It's almost like a poor man's Derrick Henry at this point. But the efficiency, like you mentioned, I think it was 0 100-yard rushing games last year. And then you saw one game where he was out and there's a 100-yard rusher, right? Without Josh Jacobs. So that's kind of damning. The film was not great last year.
Yeah, if he's back to like 3.8 yards per carry, that's where I think they could just decide like, all right, we're limiting you to like 16 carries a game.
Yeah.
You will be our goal line back because that's what you can do. But I don't feel as convinced that he's the same workhorse as he once was. And just the vibes are weird. But at the moment, he's not getting punished. So it feels odd to full fade him given the current situation. But receiver room, we mentioned, probably loaded. It's not as loaded as I expected. He has Amon-Ra, Zay Flowers, J-Mo at 54. That's not bad. But then Metcalf, Deebo Samuel at 126, Travis Hunter, Ryan Flournoy, and Ted Hurst. Do you feel confident with this receiver room?
Well, the reason it's not as stacked as we thought is because it's a Brock Bowers team. Whenever you see a Brock Bowers team, you're always missing one receiver. And I love Zay. Williams is fine there as a 3. And I'm kind of a DK guy. Pick 78. Like, DK every year is going to catch you 6-7 touchdowns, which is nice. And I think Pittman's going to help him out. And Deebo, 126. I feel like that's too. I want Deebo at like 135 now. I can't get on
so
board.
his ADP. I think it's okay in a time box contest that just opened. I don't hate it. Some people really reach on him, so just get him as your wide receiver 5. I think is fine, but some of the depth scares me a little bit, and I'm not as high on DK Metcalf as maybe you are, but that Amon-Ra, Flowers, and J-Mo trio, starting lineup wise, that's pretty lit. It feels a bit top heavy to me, but
yeah. Upside shots though with those last 4. Deebo, Travis Hunter is a freaking wild card. I'm a big Flournoy guy, and it's mostly just the double handcuff if there is such a thing with a wide receiver. You get an injury to CD or Pickens, like Flournoy is probably a top 36 guy.
In the weeks when one of them would be out, yeah, for sure.
Or pouting because you had that Pickens game where he was crying, and Flournoy goes like 9 for 130 and a tutty. Pickens is just sitting there fucking whining.
I don't worry about that too much, man. I think Pickens, the Steelers, I think have the Mike Tomlin coaching is a little bit odd. Like it feels like he kind of brings out some of the worst qualities of some of his receivers. However, in Dallas, I think you get all of the attention to feed the ego that makes you kind of satisfied to the Cowboys receivers usually don't have the same pouting issues. I don't worry about that too much myself.
I don't worry about it this year, right? Because this is the same thing with Kyler. For Pickens, he has to be on his best behavior. Like that's what teams are looking at more than his numbers. If you can trust this dude to, run a route when he's not the main target, right? Throw a block once in a while. Please, George Pickens. Can you do that?
Obviously, Pickens is better than Lamb. So, but last year he definitely was. But he also took your boy TJ Hawkinson. So I imagine
A+ in this team for sure. I mean, this is the best tight end room in the world. You have a tight end 1, you have the tight end 5. So love it.
Starting lineup wise, any given week, I think this could crush. But yeah, it's kind of just coming down to running backs just getting you over the hump. But quarterback room feels great. Receiver room has depth and it is top heavy. So starting lineup is awesome. And then any team with Bowers has a chance. This one's not bad. This team is pretty good.
I think he's too heavy at tight ends, with Hawkinson and Bowers. It's fucking stacked, man.
Typically, I see Austin take Bowers and your boy Kraft all the time. So I'm surprised he had some willingness to pump the brakes there. But not a bad team. Not a bad team at all. We also got A-Rod in here. Underdogs Anonymous. He has Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, and Geno Smith. The depth scares me on that one. Not going to lie. Do you take Geno with any confidence? I do not.
I do. We disagree a lot. I like it.
Yeah.
I like this offense, man. Like this, I don't trust the Jets defense at all. Like Aaron Glenn is not only a bad head coach, he's not a very good defensive coordinator. And he also likes to sleep. And like, that's just, I can't believe he didn't get fired in the spot for that. But all jokes aside, man, this offensive line is above average, and it's going to be the same exact unit return from last year. There's weapons all over the field. And last year, the situation Geno was in was probably the worst in the NFL. I mean, Pete Carroll's son was the offensive line coach there. Pete Carroll mailed it in. Genti never had a shot. Brock Bowers was hurt. Like, look at and Jacoby Myers remember all the stuff with Jacoby Myers wanting to get traded? Right, he was pulling at George Pickens last year, so he had nothing. And Geno was kind of bad the last year in Seattle as well, but he is an aggressive passer. I don't think he's a great real-life quarterback. he's going to be fine for fantasy where you're drafting him. I mean, Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, Omar Cooper, Sadiq. I love Mason Taylor, Brees Hall, the backfield. Like, that is a top 15 unit, right? Off like, for terms of talent in the NFL.
I
Brees
wouldn't
Hall,
go that far.
Garrett Wilson.
I mean, it's top heavy. I would not go top 15 myself.
Okay,
I
top
mean,
18, top 20. It's there. It's
I'll throw you top 22. They're not bottom 10. How about that?
okay, but you're getting Geno Smith at quarterback 30. So it's also because he sucks. I understand he sucks.
I worry about his bench risk. I think they're
Mhm.
obviously tanking, and like players get so much better when they leave the Jets. To go back to the Jets, I don't want to believe that he's just gonna randomly improve. So I'm kind of out on Geno. But to your point, Chip Kelly is not going to be calling any plays that aren't even on the play sheet. But I don't trust Frank Reich very much either. So I want to avoid a huge Jets exposure. If it's really critical, I will take him. But typically, I build my rosters where I just don't need quarterback there with Geno. And I rarely have enough stacks to justify it. So you make some valid points. You could totally be right. There are weeks where Geno has just like lit it up in garbage time. I mean, he actually beat the Patriots last year, week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Can't believe that.
maybe I'm not believing in him enough, but just I kind of just fall back on I'm not gonna believe in the Jets ultimately, but they'll find a way to fuck up the tank. They could still win like 5 games this season.
I think the Jets are gonna be terrible. I don't trust that defense, and it's the cost, man. And the bench risk is for real, but Cade Klubnik is awful. Like, he is not Carson Beck. You know what I mean? He's not a 3rd round pick. Cade Klubnik's a 7th round pick. And if they want to go down that rabbit hole, like, it's going to be really bad. And they might, right? Week 15, week 16, which is the money time for these tournaments. But as a quarterback 3, it's like, you shouldn't be relying on him in the fantasy playoffs. If you are, you're not going to do anything anyway. So this is just kind of a depth piece to kind of get you there, give you some insurance if there's an injury to Darnold or Jalen Hurts.
Gotcha. All right. Well, agree to disagree, but at 186, if he has Garrett Wilson, he does. It's obviously more justified. It is stacked up. He's got Achane though on this team. Bucky Irving, who we mentioned. At this point, the camp reports are positive. He's feeling like a better click in the 5th right now. But Warren, JCM, and Pacheco. How you feel about JCM right now? There's some interesting camp reports on him.
It's good. It was good today. What I read. It's we want to buy into these ambiguous backfields, and a team that is definitely gonna be better than last year. I'm a Jaden Daniels fan, so it's fine. It's the pass catching stuff hurts, and his pass blocking. It's like, how this seems like empty calories, right? A guy that's going to be getting a lot of touches between the 20s, kind of what we saw with Bucky Irving at the end of last year, which is not what we want for fantasy. But guys got some juice. You saw that 70-yard touchdown against the Cowboys to end the season last year. I was against them somehow in 3 championship games, and watching that just broke my heart. He's got some juice. Rashad White's can be on the field. It comes down to Katron Allen. If Katron Allen's involved in this backfield, JCM is going to be a 6, 7, 8 points a game guy, but it's worth shooting a shot for your RB4.
If he can actually catch passes, I may regret full fading him for like 3 of the months in the summer here. But I don't take much JCM. I have so much Katron and a lot of Rashad, but I have not taken much JCM. I might start mixing him in, honestly. But Pacheco at 162. And then at receiver, he's got JSN, Devontae, Garrett Wilson, and Cortland Sutton, Naylor, Judy, and Ridley. I don't love the depth, but it feels like the top 4 are pretty solid, pretty top heavy. But any take on this receiver room?
Got the old trusty veterans bringing it home there, which is okay. And if you had Sutton in there, the bottom 4, but top 3 are studs. I love this. Pretty balanced running back and wide receiver room. I like it.
He went Laporta, Kincaid, and Tommy Tremble. Wow, a Tommy Tremble sighting.
He doesn't have Bryce, though.
No, he does not.
That's where, I don't want anything to do with Carolina's tight ends. I would prefer Jadavion Sanders if I had to choose one, but I don't want to go down that. It's like your Geno Smith take, but times 100 with Carolina tight ends. Someone's got to get a couple touchdowns and get the snaps. I have a feeling this is a full committee at tight ends, and not really buying into that. I feel like you should have taken like Michael Mayer. If you want to take a shot on a guy that could blow up, give me Michael Mayer, who actually will probably outproduce Tremble or Sanders because they're going to run a lot of 12.
Yeah, the reports are that Mayer's like, other than Trey Tucker and Bowers, like He's getting more targets than anyone else on that team. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think I would have just taken an 8th receiver, honestly, because I don't see Judy or Ridley's path without a trade, to be honest. But
Torrey Horton would have been good. You know, I know
Yeah,
you have JSN, but I mean, it's a double stack. Do that.
Yeah. No, that would have been a great pick. I would have liked that a lot. This team feels like I would not have taken Tremble, but otherwise there's no pick I'm like really upset with. I'm just anti-Geno essentially. But
look at that Pacheco value. Is that 162 I see? It's hard for me to see.
10 pick slide.
That's nice. That's
He's
really
been,
nice.
He's been moving down. He used to go like 140, so it's about time. But all right, we have 5 minutes before your stream is set to kick off. I want to remind y'all the link to that live stream. I'm going to drop it in the chat real quick. I'm going to be a guest on Rob's channel in just a few minutes. But if you haven't subscribed to Professional Fanatics, the link is also in the description. Give them a sub, a follow. Check out our second collab right after this. And just to close it out, we'll go rapid fire. I do still want to play that quick win-loss pick game.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Eagles. Let me get it in. Is there anything you want to mention before we get going?
Well, all my boys in here, I see a lot of your names. Appreciate you guys tuning into Nice and Blunt's channel. Thank you for having me on. Make sure you drop him a sub. We have a lot of crossover time, but there's nights I start later. Hop over and give him, dude, this guy knows his shit. We disagree on a lot of stuff. That's what's beautiful about this. Like, I know you're a pro. I play 35 redrafts a year redrafts, like every year since 2012. Like I'm a nutcase. So there's a million ways to win in fantasy. There's a few ways not to win. And that is reaching on guys 20 or 30 picks at ADP. I don't think either of us are into reaching on players or getting too cute. And that's a lesson for everyone, right? Like we know a lot, but it's like I'm not saying no one knows more than everyone else, but just let the board fall to you. That is probably the number one thing I tell everybody is just, be flexible, man. And also take TJ Hawkinson.
If you're drafting volume, you gotta spread it out. And I like having people on that have different takes. I respect the debate. It opens my mind and allows me to have a different perspective. So I appreciate this whole discussion tonight. This is a lot of fun, man. I enjoyed having you as a guest.
Oh yeah, man.
And now let's ruffle some feathers. How about that? Let's piss off some Eagles fans. We'll trust your gut. Let's go rapid fire here as quick as you can. Week 1 versus the Commanders.
W.
Let's get it. Week 2 at the Titans.
L.
Let me bring it in. Week 3 at the Bears. You gave them a win.
Yeah. It'd be funny if I said L now. No, it's a W.
Okay. Staying consistent. Week 4 versus the Rams, though.
This is an L. This is a big L.
Okay. Week 4 versus the Jags.
I'm going L again.
Week 5 versus Carolina.
That's a resounding W.
Yes, I would fully agree with that. Week 7, home game, Monday Night Football division rivalry versus the Cowboys.
Going win.
Win number 4. Next up, another rematch in division at the Commanders, a team that's given them some problems in the past.
Now this is a loss. This is a loss. Revenge right here at the Commanders.
Nice. I like the split with the Commanders there. As long as Jaden's healthy, I could see that. We got versus the Giants right before the bye.
This is going to be a W.
Yeah.
I think they sweep the Giants this year. Yep.
They lost to the Giants last season, but that was a Thursday
Their
night
coaching
game,
staff. I am out on Harbaugh, dude. Did you see the speech? I know it's a weird speech, but that dude and just all the stuff the last year, not trying to run the ball at Derrick Henry to get the extra yards for the rookie kick. Dude, he lost that locker room. I don't think he's even have this locker room.
Candyman pointed out back-to-back home losses versus. I can see the Rams one, but hey, we're trusting our gut here. After the bye though, the Battle of Philadelphia versus the Steelers at home.
This is another W.
Next up, we got at the Cowboys rematch game. Sometimes the Cowboys play them tough as fuck.
Yep. L. Thursday night. L.
Like the split with that as well. And then coming down the stretch, 6 more games left at the Cardinals.
This is a bye. This is a W.
Versus the Colts.
I'm going to go W here.
Versus the Seahawks on a Saturday, primetime.
These next 2 games are both L's. I'm big into the Texans this year, so we're going to go LL.
I respect that. The defensive matchups there are tough. And, the health situation holding up, who knows? But last 2 games at the Niners, week 17.
Are they going to have a fucking team to field here at this point? The Niners? I don't know. I'm going to go W here. Let's go W here.
Okay. And then finally, a rematch versus at the Giants.
What's their record here? I think I might go L because they're going to have the division locked up here. 3-6. No, they're not. They need to win this game. Go W.
Okay.
This is 10 wins.
Yes, this would be their 10th win. 10-7. So just like the Bears, and they beat the Bears. That would give them that's the playoff tiebreaker.
Bears. Sorry, Bears fans. Sorry, I'm a Bears fan, but
wow.
Again, I'm just kind of going first instinct on these things without looking too much into them. I didn't want to just come here and have a 20-minute segment of me picking the Eagles schedule. I don't know if that's good podcasting.
I actually think the Giants can shock you. I actually think the Giants have a chance to make that division competitive. It's, it was changing hands every year for like 2 decades. In the last few seasons, the Eagles have had a stranglehold. But when you look at the Giants' schedule, they have a 4th place schedule that's actually really winnable. I actually think the Giants. I think the league actually knows something. Some people might not. I think that game might actually be for the division. Honestly.
Really? Wow. See, I'm a Cowboys guy this year. I think the Cowboys won 11.
I doubt it, but we disagree on a lot
defense.
of things.
What do you think? What do you think that the defense, the Cowboys have to be defensively to make the playoffs?
I mean,
what rank?
At the very least, like top 12. I think if they're not, if they're only 16th or worse, I don't think it's good enough because I just don't trust their offense to stay fully healthy, man. Like, we'll see. But Dak Prescott has not strung back-to-back seasons fully healthy in a minute. So the schedule's kind of tough for them. I think it's going to be knotted. I have the Cowboys at 9 wins, the Eagles at 10, and then based off of division record, I actually have the Giants at 10 winning it myself.
So you're low on the Commanders then, is what I'm.
Yeah, I am low on the Commanders.
I made a lot of money on their under last year. I did alt under, alt 7.5 because they were at 9.5 last year, and I was like, that's insane. Like that roster was so old, and they didn't address any of their needs last year. So
yeah, the regression,
could be another one this year.
Regression feels likely, but thanks a lot, Rob. This was a lot of fun, and we're not done.
Hell yeah,
we're
man.
Gonna be live on your channel. Anything you want to leave the folks with before we go?
No, man. Thanks for having me on. And check out our stream. Ours is very wild. It's not PC. So do not watch our show at work. I'll say that. If you're at work, if you're around your wife, she'll probably be like, what the hell are you watching? But this way we like it. Keep it loose.
Well, before we go, appreciate the super chat, Keith. Thank you very much. And a little head explosion. I do think the Giants could actually shock you. But all right, we'll be live in probably like 5 minutes. Head over to Professional Fanatics. The link is also in the live chat. I will drop it one last time just in case y'all want to head over there right now. But we'll see you there. Peace out, everyone.
All right, man. Thank you.